Today we're going to go over coaching and progressing the side bridge or side plank variation. I love the side plank because it's a great glute medius exercise. It's phenomenal for folks that have hip pains. Let's say you have some sort of greater trochanteric syndrome or glute medius tendinopathy. Let's say you have some patellofemoral pain. These are all good exercises that can help with those folks. All right. One of the troubles I think with the side bridge is that it can be pretty easy for some folks and it can be extremely hard for others. So we're trying to figure out how to dose this appropriately. Okay. If you have someone who has a pretty angry hip and we throw a pretty challenging side bridge variation, we may make them a bit worse. So we want to make sure we pick that right variation, right? So let's first coach this correctly. We'll go into a full side bridge or side plank variation. A couple things I'm looking for. So I want the body to be nice and long, okay? So I tell people, imagine you had really tall posture and you fell to your side and you just maintain that position. The other cue I like is to pretend like someone's pulling you from your head and your feet, pulling you out nice and long, okay? I like to be active on that bottom side arm, so pretend like you're pushing away from the floor. This actually looks great, okay? I want the shoulders stacked on top of one another. I want the hips stacked on top of one another, which looks awesome, and the feet stacked as well. What do you do with the top side hand? Well, whatever you want, but I think putting it on the top side hip helps you stay more neutral, okay? Take a breather. That feel all right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, very good. So let's start with the easiest variation, which is going to be a short lever, okay? So let's have your knees bent. Yep, and then come on up into a side bridge. So same mechanics apply, nice and tall, someone's pulling you from the head and the knees, and pulling out nice and long, shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, knees, everything is stacked up, okay? This is too easy for your patient. All you do is get a little space between the knee, let's keep it bent first, yep, and the heel, all right? So this makes this automatically more challenging for the bottom side hip, just because now the top side hip is not really assisting. The top side hip is working, but the bottom side hip is usually doing the majority of the work. If you want to make this a little bit harder, let's go ahead and extend this leg out. Right? And what we're doing is we're increasing the moment arm, okay? So now there's a little bit more work for the hips to do, okay? Take a breather. If this is being tolerated really well, the next step is just to add a little bit of motion. So let's go back into that short lever side bridge, and then from here, let's do a few reps, yep, of abduction. Yep, you got it, excellent. All mechanics still apply, keep that leg nice and long. That looks great to me, good. Now, if we want to spice this up a little bit more, let's throw this on, okay? So obviously, adding a band is going to make this more challenging. You can make it easier or harder with a bigger or smaller band. And to be honest, this is a very challenging exercise, so oftentimes you don't have to go much beyond this with your patients. Good? Up and down. There you go. Sometimes folks will start to compensate and look a little bit worse when you add weight or resistance, right? But this looks great to me. It's a good job, Chris. Take a breather. Okay? We'll take the band off, and then we'll go over our full side bridge variation. Nice. The progression is pretty much the same. So let's have you start off in your full side bridge again. Good. And if we want to make this really tough, let's lift this leg up and just hold. Very good. This is a great exercise for folks that have, let's say, glute medius tendinopathy and don't tolerate a lot of motion, but they want to get a lot of load through the bottom side hip. This will do it for sure. Take a breather. Okay. The second variation, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go up into that side bridge and we're going to do a few repetitions of abduction. Okay. So go for it. Good. Then come on up into my hand and right back down again. Everything stays stacked. Let's do 3 total. Good. Looking great, Chris. And then take a breather. And lastly, I'm not going to make you do it because it's pretty god-awful, but you just take the band and you put it either around the knees, or if you're really feeling like you're going to make your patient hate you, then put the band around the ankles. Makes it more challenging, okay? All right, guys. Thank you for watching. This is not the end of the education. If you want to learn more about getting people out of pain and back to the gym, recommend clicking on this link right here. Thank you very much.